Since ancient times, humanity has questioned the end of days. Prophecies, visions, and sacred writings from various cultures around the world point to a moment when the fate of the earth will be sealed, a time when the very fabric of existence will unravel. Among the many religious texts that address this event, the Bible, specifically the book of Revelation, stands out for its vivid and terrifying description of the apocalypse. Today, we delve into one of the most feared and enigmatic signs of this end, the sounding of the trumpets of the apocalypse, a powerful symbol of divine judgment and the destruction that will follow. Each trumpet, blown by an angel, unleashes a unique and terrifying catastrophe, bringing humanity closer to its final reckoning. In the book of Revelation, the last book of the New Testament, written by the Apostle John while he was in exile on the island of Patmos, a series of apocalyptic visions is revealed. These visions have been the subject of intense study, interpretation, and debate for centuries. Among these revelations is a passage describing 7 angels, each holding a trumpet. These trumpets, far from being ordinary instruments, serve as heralds of destruction. Each blast marks the beginning of a new phase of divine punishment. As the trumpets sound one by one, they escalate the chaos on earth, bringing with them fire, darkness, poison, war, and ultimately the end of the world as we know it. But what exactly do these trumpets signify? Are they to be taken literally, or do they represent something more symbolic, a deeper meaning that resonates through history? When the first trumpet sounds, the earth is struck by unimaginable disaster. Hail and fire, mixed with blood, were thrown upon the earth, and 1/3 of the trees were burned up, and all green grass was burned up. This vivid imagery suggests an ecological catastrophe of epic proportions, where entire forests and fields are consumed in flames, and the landscape is left barren. It evokes the imagery of raging wildfires, perhaps exacerbated by climate change, or even nuclear fallout, where the very atmosphere seems to turn against humanity. Some interpreters see in this trumpet a warning about humanity's impact on nature. As the earth rebels against centuries of exploitation, the destruction is immediate and devastating, and it's clear that this first trumpet is only the beginning, a foretaste of the horrors to come. The second trumpet brings an even more terrifying vision. Something, like a great mountain, burning with fire, was thrown into the sea. As this fiery mass crashed into the ocean, 1/3 of the sea turns to blood, killing 1/3 of the marine life and destroying 1/3 of the ships. The image is haunting, reminiscent of a massive volcanic eruption or perhaps a meteorite strike. Some scholars have speculated that this trumpet could symbolize a cataclysmic event such as an asteroid impact, something that scientists warn could happen again in the future. The sea turning to blood echoes the plagues of Egypt, signifying death and destruction on a massive scale. It's a vision that reminds us of the fragility of the world's oceans and the potential for disaster that lies beneath their surface. The third trumpet intensifies the chaos as a great star, burning like a torch, falls from the sky. This star, named Wormwood, poisons 1/3 of the Earth's freshwater supply. Rivers and springs are tainted, causing many to die from drinking the bitter, contaminated water. The symbolism here is powerful, suggesting that the very resources we depend on for life can be turned against us. Wormwood, in biblical terms, is associated with bitterness and sorrow, representing the bitterness of judgment. Some interpret this trumpet as a reference to industrial pollution or even radioactive contamination, where once pure waters become toxic, a consequence of humanity's own actions. Others see it as a divine warning, a reflection of how moral decay can lead to the corruption of everything we hold dear, including the basic elements of life itself. With the fourth trumpet, a more celestial disaster occurs. 1/3 of the sun, 1/3 of the moon, and 1/3 of the stars were darkened, so that 1/3 of their light might be darkened, and the day might not shine for 1/3 of it, and the night likewise. This marks a disruption in the natural order, as the very heavens are affected. The sun, moon, and stars' celestial bodies that have been constants for life on Earth are suddenly dimmed. The world is plunged into partial darkness, a chilling reminder of how dependent life is on the balance of the cosmos. Some see in this trumpet a reference to natural phenomena such as eclipses or volcanic ash clouds that block sunlight. Others interpret it symbolically as a sign of spiritual darkness, where the light of truth and righteousness is obscured, leaving humanity to grope in the shadows of confusion and despair. The fifth trumpet, however, brings a horror unlike any seen before. A star falls from the sky to the earth, and to this star is given the key to the bottomless pit. Smoke rises from the pit, and out of the smoke come locust screechers that resemble horses prepared for battle, with crowns of gold, faces like humans, and tails like scorpions. These locusts are not ordinary insects. They are demonic creatures that torment humanity for 5 months, though they do not kill. Their sting brings unbearable pain, so much so that people will seek death but will not find it. The imagery here is deeply disturbing, suggesting a form of supernatural or even bioengineered plague. Some interpreters suggest these locusts could symbolize the spread of war, terror, or even a future biological threat that causes widespread suffering without immediate death. Others see this as a purely spiritual torment, a reflection of the agony that comes from separation from God. The sixth trumpet unleashes an even greater catastrophe. 4 angels, who have been bound at the great river Euphrates, are released to kill a third of mankind. They lead a vast army of 200 million mounted warriors, riding fearsome creatures, with heads like lions and tails like serpents that breathe fire, smoke, and sulfur. This is often interpreted as a vision of apocalyptic warfare, possibly a reference to a global conflict involving vast armies and advanced weaponry. The Euphrates, historically, has been a significant boundary in the ancient world, and its mention here could signify the unleashing of forces that were once held in check. The sheer scale of the destruction death of a third of humanity reminds us of the terrifying potential of modern warfare, where weapons of mass destruction could lead to unprecedented casualties. Others interpret this trumpet as the ultimate spiritual battle, where forces of evil are unleashed to wreak havoc on the world. Finally, the seventh trumpet sounds, and with it comes the revelation of God's final plan. The kingdom of the world has become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. The seventh trumpet does not bring destruction, but rather marks the moment when God's kingdom is established on earth. This trumpet represents the culmination of all the previous judgments and the beginning of a new era. The old world must pass away, but in its place, a new and glorious kingdom is born. For many, this trumpet brings hope, signaling the end of suffering and the dawn of eternal peace. However, it also serves as a reminder that to reach this new beginning, the current world must undergo destruction and transformation. Throughout history, the trumpets of the apocalypse have been interpreted in many ways. Some see them as literal events that will unfold in the future, while others view them as symbolic representations of historical events, such as wars, natural disasters, or societal collapse. Still, others believe the trumpets are metaphors for spiritual trials and tribulations that have been occurring throughout human history. Regardless of the interpretation, the message is clear. These trumpets serve as warnings, urging humanity to reflect on its actions and the state of the world. The trumpets of the apocalypse echo through time, resonating in our collective consciousness, whether you see them as allegories of humanity's destructive tendencies, metaphors for the ongoing battle between good and evil, or literal warnings of events yet to come. They invite us to contemplate the fate of the earth and what role we play in shaping the future. The end of times may be written, but is it inevitable? Or can we, through our actions and choices, change the course of history? If this exploration of the trumpets of the apocalypse has sparked your curiosity, or made you reflect on the future, don't let the conversation end here. Subscribe to our channel for more in-depth content that delves into the mysteries of our world and beyond. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update, and if you have thoughts or theories about what these prophecies mean, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your perspective. Remember, understanding the past and present can help us shape a better future. Stay informed, stay curious, and let's navigate these mysteries together.